Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Outreach with Reggie. Man, it's so good to hear from you guys, man. Um a lot of good stuff going on, a lot of great stuff going on over this past couple of weeks now. I had a chance to speak at the Georgia State Capitol. I had a chance to share a bit of my story. If you haven't tuned into that yet, over on Instagram and YouTube by the same name, Outreach with Reggie, we got a chance to put our foot in the door and advocate for a few things regarding housing. And I'll be talking about that in a later episode. We got some amazing guests to come through. But nevertheless, welcome back to another episode of Outreach with Reggie. In today's episode, we're going to be diving into a question that a lot of us are asking right now in 2025, which is college still the golden ticket? Now, for decades, the college degree was seen as a ticket to the middle class, a ticket to a better life, a way to secure a stable job and a foundation for the American dream. But as we see in 2025, with rising cost, inflation is a real thing. Um, Ballooning student debt, artificial intelligence, AI that is reshaping, taking jobs away, but is reshaping how we look at the workforce, and Gen Z questioning the system as if, man, I went to school for 4 to 8 years plus, and still, it's not enough. So the answer isn't that simple anymore. So let's talk about the real numbers, the real stories, and the real options for life after college in this episode of Outreach with Reggie. Stay tuned. Funny enough, when I think about this topic of is college important, I often think about this one song I used to listen to all the time as a kid, which is "And Then What" by Jeezy and Manny Fresh. And not to get copywritten, but I'm going to go over the lyrics because I want to hint to why it matters. He says, "First I'm gonna stack my flow, then I'm gonna stack some more. Close shop, then I do my count, and then so on and so forth." But they're always thinking about, and then what? Because that's the reality when it comes to what's next. When you leave from high school, then what? What's next? As you're walking into adulthood, and you know what's out there at the time, the job market is, it's okay, but it's not enough realistically to live off from. So you figure, hey, you ask people who are older than you or people who are more experienced in life than you or have gone through life at the period before that you are going through right now. And 9 times out of 10, oftentimes enough, they'll advocate for you to go to college. So what do? You go to college. You do good and you go on and you build yourself up and you make yourself into somebody, as they say. Go on to search the great beyond that all that endures within college. And between those 2 to 4 to 6 years, you end up graduating and you get that fancy degree. And then what? And once you get the degree and what feels like forever on that stage when they call your name and you feel like finally, I am here and I have everything that they told me I needed to have a successful and productive life. I have my degree. I did well in college. So then what? But here's the reality check. In 2025, do you know what the average student loan debt per borrow is? Funny enough, I was able to do the numbers for you. The average student loan debt per borrower is around $39,000 to $42,000. For many graduates, that means monthly payments of $200 to $300, often stretching for 20 years or more. Nationwide, the total student loan debt sits at nearly $1.77 trillion. And that's more than all US credit card debt combined. Even after all of that, for graduates between the ages of 22 and 27, the unemployment rate has climbed to 5.3% this year, up from 4.4% just last year alone. So you may ask yourself the big question: does the degree really deliver the return it promises, or what we were promised? Because now, what's next? Now, before I go on further, I will dispel the rumor. I will dispel the thought of telling you that, oh, college does not matter. Because college, of course, you're going to need some form of foundation, and that's what it provides. But let me stretch your thinking for a second. Because in some fields, it is absolutely required to have a degree in medicine, law, engineering, and teaching. Because you would hate to have somebody who came of this, like, oh, there's my doctor. Do you have a degree in this? Can you help me within this? Can you guide me in this direction? Well, can you help me? Can I trust you to do surgery on my body? Or provide me with a safe and secure health care within law? Can you represent me in the right way so I don't go away, or I'm given the best chance of justice? Engineering. These are the people who are the backbone and lay the foundation for what we are able to have every single day within the industries that are building around us. Building the buildings, technology, and the things that we see today that we walk around every single day. And teaching, the cornerstone foundation for how we're able to learn, to grow, the seeds, the backing of children across the world. But the saying that, and for others, such as tech, creative industries, entrepreneurship, there are way cheaper. Well, let me not say way cheaper. But they are cheaper and faster pathways through certifications, trade schools, apprenticeships, and online boot camps. Furthermore, a Pew study has found that only 25% of Americans say that a degree is very important for landing a well paying job, while 40% say that it is not important at all. That is a massive shift in public perception, because Gen Z in particular is skeptical, because 62% say that they're not even working in the career that they studied for. And nearly half feel like their degree has lost value because of AI driven changes. And one of four openly regrets going to college. This isn't just an economical debate, it's cultural, generational, and personal. And I'll share a bit of my story too. Um, I graduated last year with a degree in communications, or in particular, digital media and entertainment. So everything within digital media, pretty much in the creative space, digitally. And I graduated with a minor in sociology. Having said that, I applied for hundreds of jobs and I couldn't find anything. So I ended up getting a job for a little while, up until a few days ago. I ended up getting a job at a warehouse. And a part of that warehouse job, I just remember hating it every single day. It ruined me. It ruined my personal life and made me look at things a different way. And that's no shame towards the company and no shame towards the position I was in. It paid okay. It paid well. It provided it paid the bills, as they say. But knowing that I went to school for 6 years and with to work towards this degree, only to work at a job that didn't even require a college degree, I too feel like I don't regret going to college at all. College was beautiful. I learned a lot of amazing things and met a lot of amazing people. But I didn't even get a chance to work at a career job. I was overqualified for a lot of places, but I ended up in a warehouse. I say that to say, within my next segment, I'll go into what actually matters after college. So, what actually matters after college? Or if you never go at all? I would say expand your thinking. What helped for me was I have a wealth of skills, I have a wealth of information that I've gathered from college. So when I ended up at the job I was at the time, I had the luxury of taking the skills I learned from college, both from a photography sense, everything I knew from digital media, marketing, to create for self. Find avenues that I could explore on my own accord and take the things I was using and build. So, truth be told, it's the skills that you bring to the table: communication, problem solving, networking, adaptability. How well can you adapt to the things that you're doing? So, be able to take everything that you learned from college. And if you are in college currently, keep those textbooks. Unless you're really in dire straits, and I will advocate for you to sell those textbooks. But keep those textbooks. Take what you can, learn, build. If that means sharing this information, share it and make it your own thing. But take those skills and bring it directly to the table, because it's the experiences you build, it's the internships, it's the community projects, it's creative work, it's entrepreneurial ventures. It's all those things. And for the ones that are in college right now or trying to find their way, no matter if it's 2 year technical school, a trade, certification, if it's a 4 year institution like I did, realize that college in itself, it's 10% of what you learn in the textbook. Unless you are going into the medical field or law or engineering or even education. But while you're in college, a big chunk of what you'll experience and what you'll come to realize is a lot of your coworkers and a lot of the people that you work with and for will be your classmates, the people who you're with right next to. So take this time and build and make it something your own. We're now in the age. I remember seeing a old friend of mine, and he explained this to the in his greatest form. It is gone of the days of nine to five. Although that's what's available right now. This is the age of the creator. People who are driven, passionate, who are going for the gusto when it comes to the things that they are dreaming about and they want to achieve. Gone are the days of the cubicle, gone are the days of the 40 hours just to get by. It's time to lead. It's time to create. And it's time to find your purpose. And once you get to that degree, it is the purpose that you live out. How you choose to serve, how you choose to contribute, and how do you choose to grow. Yes, a degree can open the doors to a better and great life. Absolutely. But it does not define your destiny. Not by a long shot. It doesn't define you. It's not your identity. Yes, you graduated college, but you're not bound by, hi, I'm college graduate. Nice to meet you. No, you do. You define your destiny. And if you're listening right now, and if you feel stuck, whether you're in debt, working a job that does not align with your degree, or trying to figure out your next step, I want to remind you that you are way more than a piece of paper. You're way more than that college debt right now. Because your worth isn't measured by a diploma, but is measured by the impact that you make, how you contribute to the things that you love and are passionate about, to the communities that you serve and the place people that you serve, but the things that you know, the skill set that you have, and the growth that's in it. Because you do amazing things that you don't know, but that you do every single day. Getting up, showing up, even if you still stuck. If you're granted a day, if you're granted a new day and you have a chance to put your feet on the ground or breathe in air, a roof over your head, or just trying to find your way, take these skills that you have and use it to put yourself in a position that a diploma may not have gotten you, but it will not define you either. So, as we wrap up today's episode, the question is, so is college still worth it in 2025? The truth is, it depends on your goals, your field, but most importantly, your willingness to learn beyond the classroom. Funny enough, I always think about this expression. The classroom may change, right? The classroom will definitely change throughout your life, but you will forever be learning something every day. But here's the quote. The classroom may change, but the curriculum will stay the same no matter what. And what that means is, yes, you went to elementary school, middle school, high school, junior high for those who had went to junior high, high school, college. No matter what the curriculum was, no matter what the classroom was, you went there. You should be proud, no matter how far you went. You should be proud that you got there. That's true. But life does not end after that diploma. You will continue to learn. You'll learn how to be a great partner within your relationships. You'll continue to learn how to be a great son, a great daughter, a great child, a great worker, a great entrepreneur, a great person to your community. But most importantly, you're still learning how to be a great person to yourself too. And that's important. The curriculum does not end, it stays the same. You were never a student of just the classroom or just school. You're a student of life. And as you go on to be a great mother, a great father, learning to be a great parent, learning to be a great boss, learning to be, you ever thought about that? Just learning to be, to exist. You're learning to enjoy the human experience. But with saying all of that, it depends on your goals, your field, and your willingness to keep learning beyond the classroom because here's what I do know. The world needs your creativity, your resilience, and your voice, whether you have a degree on your wall or not. So thank you for tuning in to Outreach with Reggie. Don't forget to vote on today's Spotify poll for the week. Do you think a college degree is worth it in 2025? And join the conversation with me on Instagram at Outreach with Reggie. Until next time, keep reaching out, keep growing, and keep making a change.